Hi everybody, how you doing? My name's Tim.
I'm Hassan.
And this is Rsvp, Realistic Situations
Versus People. Hey, what's up, y'all? Today, me and Tim will be talking about what it is to be prideful and what it is to be humble. And me, I'm gonna be talking about what it is to have pride. Tim will talk about what it is to be humble. We will be on some real life situations versus people.
Now, being humble, that's the hardest but easiest thing to do out here in these streets and in the community. A lot of times people fight daily with this inner thoughts and inner feelings to be humble versus whatever else they're thinking, which would be pride as well. And sometimes you gotta set that aside. Now, the definition of humble via Wikipedia is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. So basically, it's like if I was the greatest basketball player in the world, I'm not gonna say I'm the greatest basketball player in the world. Everybody already knows that. So me, I'm gonna be humble, accept that I am, and teach the next man what I know to make them the next best thing. Now, my man Hassan is gonna show you and tell you his input on what it is to be prideful.
Yeah, well, thanks, Tim, for that. Well, for pride is in the dictionary I got. It was basically like somebody who has extremely exaggerated ego. Ego is kind of like out of this world, and they're very self-centered, and they're really into themselves. And a person like that is like a person who won't back down. You know what I'm saying? And those type of people, they can't avoid situations, and they actually have a problem with being humble. And you know, for me, I know a situation where somebody had so much pride and they could avoid a fight. I told them like, hey, just go on the other side of the street and you can avoid that. But they just felt too prideful to cross the street, and they wouldn't let their pride come down in order for them to get out of the situation without getting into a situation. Because I know for me, Tim, being humble, I got a lot of situations that if I would have been very prideful, I would have got into a lot of trouble. And you know, in my past, I've kind of got into a lot of trouble behind my pride, and I didn't know how to walk away from situations. But as I got older, I knew that I had different decisions to choose. So how about you with pride?
Definitely, pride is a really hard thing. It's like once you're in a situation, me usually now, I learned being older, I always think humble versus pride. My pride wants me to do something, but my humbleness tells me I gotta do it like this. So if I'm out in these streets and somebody approaches me a certain way, automatically, you know, so in the public, my pride is telling me, oh, I can't let this person get the best of me.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm a man.
Right.
Oh no, everybody's seeing this. You see my stature, my size, I gotta do something.
Right.
My humbleness tells me they're not worth my time. It's not worth anything that's about to happen, being arrested, going to jail, anything that can come up that hospital, death,
Right.
So, something of that nature.
True that, because when I think about pride, as I listen to you talk, pride, and as the definition says, is more selfish when you're thinking selfish. When you're not thinking about, you know, I have a kid, or I have other people to provide for you, you're thinking about nobody's gonna pump me. You know, with humbleness, it sounds like you're choosing to do something besides what you really want to do, so where you have a choice and you're not kind of going on instinct. So how about you? Tell me, you have any situations where you had to put your pride aside and be humble?
Yeah, I did have actually a situation. I had my son with me, you know, we at the park, you know, balling, whatnot. And then I had somebody who wanted to kind of punk us off the court type of thing. So this guy's talking to me, kind of reckless. And I got my son here, and he's seeing the whole thing. You know, so I decided to just, you know, be that, leave it alone, you know, walk away, go somewhere else. So then on our way home, my son's like, why are you gonna let home talk to you like that? How you gonna let home punk you? I was like, well, at the end of the day, You're safe, I'm safe. That's all that matters at the end of the day. It's only basketball, it's only basketball court. We can go to a different court and play ball. It's really not worth time, effort, or anything wasted. But I usually teach my son, I usually teach him like we are kings. So it's a lot of times people get their mind state flipped and they start acting like peasants. So I said, you can't waste your time on a peasant because you're a royalty at the end of the day.
That was beautiful, man. I know for me, putting down my pride actually saved my life one time, you know, where it's like, where I wanted to take a certain role and I wanted to take a certain action in life, and kind of like you, I didn't want to be punked, or, you know, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of hurt them before I felt like they were going to hurt me, but it was just kind of like an insecurity. So pride is kind of like an insecure thing, like where you're battling yourself, but the pride of you battled yourself. I can handle this guy, obviously, because my size, I can handle him, but I have my son with me. So I have different options, and so you chose to be humble. And humble is just basically patience, it sounds like, you know, and it's just not just one situation. Being humble, you're thinking about the other situations and the more situations that come in a bigger picture besides this one moment that could change your whole life.
Definitely.
So I commend you on that. We greatly appreciate you watching. Please leave comments for ideas or suggestions on next episodes.
And check out our next episode, which will be Sex versus
Abstinence.
This has been Rsvp. Thank you for tuning in. Realistic situations
versus people.
Whom the sun sets free is truly free indeed. So I stand fast with my liberty that Christ has given me, yeah. Because he brought me from darkness into his marvelous light, took me out of night, and he brought me to the day. Joy is coming in the day. He brought me from darkness into his marvelous light, took me out of night, and he brought me to the day. Joy is coming in the day. There is no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus. Doesn't matter what you did, as long as Christ forgives. God said it in his word, he will put his laws in our hearts, and remember our iniquities no more, no more, no more. Because he brought us from darkness into his marvelous light, took us out of night, and he brought us to the day. Just coming in the day. He brought us from darkness into his marvelous light, took us out of night, and brought us to the day. Just coming in the day. Hold on to your liberty. Hold on to your testimony. God deliver you from Egypt. Don't go back to Egypt. Don't go back. Yeah. Don't go back. Yeah. Don't go back. Yeah. Don't go back. Because he brought us from darkness into his marvelous light. Day. Yes, he brought us from darkness into his marvelous light, and brought us to the